Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Nathan and welcome back to the Snack Saloon. Now today I'm doing a video that I've been planning for quite a while. I've wanted to do a collection update of my Demon Slayer collection for months now. And it seems like every time I go to film it, something else comes in and I need to find a spot for it, so I'm rearranging things. But I figured at this point, I might as well do it now. If I want to do another one in a couple of months, I can, go ahead and film another update. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you everything in my collection. I'm going to be going over every shelf, every section, and talking you through some of the figures that I have. A lot of this, obviously, I have reviewed on my channel, but I will be showing you some things that I haven't. But we're going to start over here. I'm going to turn the lights on for this section, but I'll keep them off for this one. So let's get into it. So in the corner here, I kind of have a little tower going with some Funko Pops, all three of Tengen's wives, and then I just have a random Muichiro plush on top. This mask right here is the only thing in my collection that isn't official. That came from Five Below a couple of Halloweens back. Got the muscular mouse that I reviewed not too long ago, and yeah, these are just empty boxes, some display boxes. This figure art's Giyu. I do have a little tower of boxes here, but this is the Tengen shelf on top. So I have most of my Tengen figures here. Some of them are scattered around in other places, but most of them are here. There's a Funko Pop. I have the Tsunemi Aniplex figure there. And then, like I said, just some random stuff dotted around that I don't really have space for. This is the Big Scale by Banpresto. I have these little muscular mice figures. Another one there. On this cup from the Infinity Castle. Not Infinity Castle, I should have said Hashira Training. Just realised that when I saw the popcorn bucket. But yeah, a lot of Bandai, Banpresto, Funko, Sega figures, little keychains, things like that. There's the Layerscape figure. And then moving down, this is my Rengoku shelf. So, you see I've got the orange lights in the background. And again, Funko Pops, little blind bags. This was a little thing I got from Kinokuniya. Sega perching figures. There's the Layerscape. McFarlane. There's the Lisa single from Mugen Train. But yeah, I've done some reviews on pretty much all of this, I would say. But yeah, I love the orange lighting. Now this one is probably my favorite in terms of lighting, just because I love this blue, and I created like a mist effect with the wool at the back, the cotton wool. But yeah, this is my Muichiro shelf. There's the two brothers. Again, prize figures, Sega perching figures. Some of the more premium figures, Q-Poskets. But yeah, I love this shelf. I do need to push those orange lights up though, so they're not interfering with this blue. Then I've got a plush at the back as well. But yeah, this is probably my favorite shelf, just because of that mist effect. And then moving down, I have Giyu. Didn't get around to doing the lights on this one, unfortunately, so it's kind of dark. But again, same pattern. Bandai, Banpresto, Funko Pops, perching figures from Sega, some plush. But yeah, that's Giyu. I do need to pay more attention to this shelf when it comes to my lighting. But it is fully stocked. You can see there's no room on this one whatsoever. It is full to the brim. So let's move back up to the top. So my Iguro section here. There's the Crosslink figure I did a review on. Sega perching figures. Little plushes. Got the pillow there as well. But yeah, a lot of smaller figures, prize figures. See, I kind of have a spillover of Rengoku. There's a Daki plush. But yeah, a lot of my Iguro stuff is there. I think pretty much most of it fits in this section. And then moving down, it's my joint Tsunemi Gyomei shelf. These Funko Pop's kind of hiding, but yeah, I've got the plush, another little plush there, Sega figures, some prize figures, and then Tsunami, we've got the Nendoroid, another plush, of course his Funko Pop as well, Q Posket, McFarlane figures at the back. But yeah, I do like this little section. I will separate them out when I need to. Now this section here is my Swordsmith Village arc shelf. So I have a lot of the characters you can see. Prize figures, Funko Pops, and then I have the Bandai minifigures at the front from that arc. Another one of my favorite shelves actually, because this arc in particular, I just love the sort of theme. Just the village itself. Yeah, I love the whole aesthetic around that arc. And then down here is my Genya shelf. So a lot of weapons here you can see. It's amazing how they keep a very similar pose. Of course, I've got prize figures where he's just kind of stood casually. The alternate face there. Got his Nendoroid, little mini figures. His Sega Crosslink figure as well, a Vibration Stars. But yeah, Genya is definitely one of my favorite characters. So I needed a dedicated shelf for him. And now moving back up. This shelf here is kind of random. I have this X-Shot gun that I got from Target. And I just thought it was interesting. I only found one on the shelf and I've never seen it since. So I just keep that in the box because I'm not going to play with it. McFarlane figures, got a Nendoroid in the box. One of my favorite pieces, this bust. I've got Muichiro. This is interesting as well, this Mugen Train display. There's another Crosslink. And then moving down, this whole shelf, this whole bookcase here is kind of random. So I have some of the newer Banpresto prize figures that come with these plastic elements. I have some Funko Pops at the back. You can see there's like a booklet there. Random coloring books at the back. Those are all in different languages. So I tend to have the same books in English, Spanish, and Japanese. So you'll see that a lot. But yeah, some more Funko Pops. I've got the Mugen Train by, you can see Tagara, Tomy. And again, random stuff. There's the Crosslink Muichiro that I did a review on. There's the large Daki Funko Pop. Inosuke, McFarlane, and then some more McFarlane figures at the back. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this section. I do just have this randomly sat here. This Genya Aniplex figure. But now let's move on to the main section over here. So I've turned the lights off for this one just to make it a little bit easier to see. I do have my ring light on as well. But we'll start at the bottom here. So this is where we left off. Have the Jumbo Rengoku Funko Pop, Tengen, and then some of the bigger McFarlane figures, Tanjiro and Inosuke, and I have an Anime USA magazine there with Rengoku on the front. And then up here, just some random prize figures. Tanjiro mug from Walmart. There's another McFarlane. But yeah, just some random things over here. Just some more random stuff. Funko Pop. So now we're going to move on to first shelf here. So I have Fan from the Infinity Castle arc. That was, I believe that was from Japan, if I'm not mistaken, from the screening. I've talked about this before, but I found this at Target, just thrown on a shelf. It's like the promotional art for the Sega Sibling Bonds, I believe it's called. But yeah, just randomly framed that. A little Muzan section here. So I have some of the Banpresto prize figures along with some of the sort of minifigures and keychains. And then that's in front of these trapeze figures, which are kind of unique. Then I have some random, there's a bookmark, I think that came from Target as well. Coloring book or a notepad, I think that is. Came from Kinokuniya. That's just a little promotional postcard I framed. Yeah, some graphic, you know, artwork. But yeah, so I have the English box set of the manga, and this is one of the Japanese box sets, which is like the first 10 volumes, I think. And down here, there's the Tomy train. Of course, some random figures. That's the model kit. Nezuko, there's the flocked. It's random Funko Pops. So let's move down here. So this, well, I actually have two Nezuko shelves. So this is one of two Nezuko shelves. So again, a lot of random stuff. Some things came from Kinokuniya, some of them were unique items like that, this thing. But then you see a lot of Bandai, Sega, Aniplex, some little keychains, a lot of things from blind bags, things like that. I believe that's Nendoroid. But yeah, a lot of random things. That's the alternate face to this figure. I'm sure some people are going to notice that. And then moving down, this is kind of my demon shelf. So I have a lot of the demons here. Again, Bandai mostly. I have some of the like Tamagotchi things at the back, which are almost falling over. I need to adjust those. But yeah, there's my Rui Funko. Now a lot of the minifigures, because a lot of these don't have full-size figures, such as this one. But yeah, just a random, there's a fig pin, random demons. And then moving down, again, kind of a random shelf. So I have the, that's the Spain box set, I believe. Yeah, that's Spain. I do have the Mexico box also, but that one is the Guardians de la Noche, as they say in Spain, which sounds like a complete bootleg, but it's actually not. That is the Norma Comics release. But then I have random figures, Funko Pops, Banpresto, a couple of Muzan plushes, and then I have some random boxes there as well. But yeah, so I have the Spain box set, American, Japanese, and then the Mexican one dotted around some. Where do I have the Mexican one? I need to find that. Yeah, I'm not certain. But over here, it's my Tanjiro section. So you can see it's like a sea of green, basically. Again, a lot of random stuff. Some Sega figures, Bandai. A lot of these little minifigures, some Gashapon. Q-Pos kits, things from blind bags. But yeah, I love how this looks, just all the green being together. There's the McFarlane figure. Another framed little promotional postcard. And a lot of art books from Kinokuniya. Same as these little notepads. And then moving down to the second Nezuko shelf. So again, some interesting minifigures down here from Bandai. Got the Funko Pops. Some plush there, a lot of Banpresto. Fig pin at the back. Some little keychains. And then moving down, we have Inosuke. So mostly prize figures on this one. I do have the coin bank there at the back from Target. You can see it over there. And then obviously some plush. A little mini figs. Let me zoom in for you so you can see that better. Yeah, a lot of random things there. That's the Kotobukiya figure. And then moving down, just see if I can move over my table. This is the desk where I review things, by the way. A couple of plushes there. Those came from Doki Doki Crate when it was still going. But this is mostly... I really need to redo this shelf because it's kind of like a storage shelf at this point. I do have this Nezuko figure, which I think that was a fairly expensive one, to be honest. And then I have another little Zenitsu section. I have his Layerscape figure. And yeah, that's kind of like a sea of orange. But if we move up to here... So this is my little corner desk, or corner shelf, I should say. And this was my wife's great-grandma's shelf, so I'm kind of repurposing it. On top we have more Tanjiro, so a lot of plush McFarlane figures. Some of these minifigures came from Forbidden Planet in the UK during one of my trips back home, which I'll be going next month, so I'll probably pick up some more things. But yeah, it's mostly plushes on this one. Then moving down, I have Inosuke again with some plush. The Tunai's figure. And then Zenitsu, again, mostly plush. That's the Buzz mod figure, from what I remember. Little RuneScape stickers that came from Five Below. I do have these stickers over here as well from Five Below. But yeah, that's the corner section. Then I have these snacks. They came from, it was a shop similar to Daiso. I always forget the name, but it's in Carrollton, Texas. And then I have some of the HD figures, ultra definition. And then my big Aniplex wall scroll, which just dominates this whole wall. But yes, now let's move on to this section. So moving on here, so this is kind of my, I call it my butterfly section, because I've got all of the butterfly girls in one spot. This big Shinobu, I do have Shinobu's Layerscape as well. But yeah, all the butterfly girls are here, whether it be, you know, prize figures. These are the Sega figures. And then I do have some of the plush, I guess I don't know what you call them really, hangers. I think those are from Bandai. Another plush there, that came from the UK. I remember getting that one. And then these are the Catan Club minifigures that are going right the way across the front here, all the way to there. I did a review on those as well. But yeah, so on this top shelf, like I said, I have the butterfly girls, and then I have, you know, these Grandista figures, which they're bringing out more of these. I do have them on pre-order. That's a Bandai figure, I think. There's my light. Another plush. I got this poster box from Five Below a couple of days ago. I actually showed it in my haul. There's the Nezuko Tunais. And yes, there's some random stuff around here. And then moving down, I have some minifigures at the front. Trying not to get in the way of the light. Your Daki keychain and minifigure. And then at the back, I just have a lot of the McFarlane figures. That's I think that's an air freshener there. And then moving down again, some of the Funko Pops. That's a coin bank from Target. Again, more of these little blind box hangers, Funko Pop, chopsticks from Hot Topic. And I forgot to point out the little towel there of Iguro and Mitsuri. That came from Kinokuni as well. And I have a little cup there at the bottom. So now moving down here behind my table. So I have some playing cards. I think those came from Five Below. And I have 2 boxes of them because I ordered some by accident. But I noticed the boxes were different, so I just kept them. But yeah, there's a Tanjiro versus Rui Funko. Some more of those hangers. There's a cup over there. And there's a little snow globe. Or it's not really snow, it's glitter. You can see it there at the back. That came from Five Below. And yeah, just random. This stuff here I never see because it's behind my table. But yeah, that's that shelf. So now we move along here to the middle shelf. So I have my Shinobu Funko Pop. There's the Kagaya there at the back, you can just see him. But yeah, this is where Mitsuri starts taking over basically. So it's kind of like a spillover. But I have some more Rengoku. Like I said, those are the minifigures from the Catan Club. And more of these Ultra HD figures. Well, before we move on to Mitsuri, let's move down a little bit. I mean, some of these, like I said, do spill over. But I've done reviews on a lot of these. But we'll move down here first. So I have my Enmu Funko Pop. That was the Crunchyroll exclusive Funko Pop at the back. And then some more little minifigures. Tanjiro Hot Topic exclusive Funko Pop. And moving down, I have the Inosuke t-shirt Funko Pop and the Tanjiro. And some more little things. That is the Tanjiro coin bank from Target. Some trading cards. I have a lot of these little pins that came from Kinokuniya. And then moving down, I have some. So these are little band-aids or plasters from Japan. Some Layerscape figures, little miniature Mugen Train. And yeah, just some random stuff. There's the Target exclusive Funko Pop. That's from Comic-Con a few years back. This little jigsaw from, I think that's from Five Below as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, again, a lot of random stuff on this one. But like I said, moving across, this is where Mitsuri takes over. So we have the pillow and a little plush there. We have cube poskets, you know, premium figures, mini figures, Sega figures, Funko Pops. Yeah, there's a lot of random Mitsuri figures here. I do have this box here, so I thought it looked kind of fitted the vibe. Same as this. But yeah, one of my favorite sections, and of course I have the pink lighting for this shelf. And then moving down, those fans at the back are the same as the Muzan one I showed earlier from the latest arc. They're from Japan. And this is my Akaza shelf. So that came from HMV in the UK. Q Poskets, Sega, you know, Bandai. That's the Sega X-Cross Akaza figure. But yeah, love the look of some of these. There's the Q Posket. My wife got me a lot of these for not last Christmas, it was the Christmas before. And then moving down, mostly Daki on this one. Some Gyutaro as well. But I have the Funko Pops, Aniplex figures, obviously the prize figures, these little mini figures at the front, little keychain. Another real interesting character. But yeah, I keep everything Daki related, other than that giant plush I showed at the start. I keep it all on one shelf. And now this one's kind of a Funko shelf, so I just kind of have a lot of Funkos there at the top. There's Genya, and then some of the little pocket pops. I do have some more of these coming. And then these are all Gashapons, these sleeping figures. And then the Tanjiro and Nezuko versus Temple Demon Funko Pop. So now I'm just going to show you what I have kind of scattered in front of the TV. Okay, so moving over, so this is in front of my TV. This stuff on top, none of this is Demon Slayer. You can see this is all My Hero Academia. But moving down, I have quite a few Funko Pops just kind of displayed here. I have some empty boxes of the model kits as well. But a lot of these are kind of exclusives. You know, ones that you wouldn't typically find. And then moving down to the last shelf, I just have some display boxes. I pick these up when I see them. But then I also have some random Funko Pops in there as well. Again, empty boxes, bags, just random stuff. Ignore Brewster. He's not part of the Demon Slayer collection, of course. There's another Jigsaw. And then, oh, I do have the Hinokami Chronicles 2 for Switch there. That just came a couple of days ago. I can't for the life of me find number 1. I have it. I've played it. I put it somewhere. I'm sure it's in a box. I just need to find it. But I do have that, as well as the board game. I forgot what that one's called. But I do have that as well. But yeah, these are all, you know, Japanese books from Kinokuniya, Kimetsu Academy, Japanese and English. I'm still missing number 3, Japanese. And then these are like single volumes of the manga. So I was getting these before I got the box set, basically. So I figured if I see them, I pick them up. And then I have a lot of the spin-offs. And then some Blu-rays, stuff like that. And then over here I have this giant inflatable Inosuke. And this is official, this is by Bandai. And I got this from a place called Wild West Weebs in Arlington, Texas, which is no longer open. They had some other characters, but I wanted Inosuke just because he looked the most epic, not gonna lie. But yeah, I just have this kind of stood next to the TV and stood right by the door as well. So you see this right as you walk in. But yeah, that is my, random stuff in front of the TV. So that's pretty much it for my Demon Slayer collection as it stands on August 15th, 2025. I've shown you everything that I have on display. I do have some random things, stored away, like little books, things like that, but hoping at some point I have a way to display everything. The one thing I am thinking of is doubling these shelves up, so having taller shelves, just to give me more room, basically. But yeah, I'm gonna have to plan that out, so it's gonna take a lot to shift everything around. But that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Obviously, leave your comments below. I love seeing the comments. If you have any questions about, what any of these figures are, I'll be happy to help. Or if you want to know where I got them from, just leave the questions in the comments below. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. So please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Until next time, see ya.